Hey guys, Joey here from Joey's Tech Talk. I just wanted to give you a quick look at my current rig that I built about 6 months ago. This rig was built obviously before my channel was, thought up and created. So I just wanted to show you guys what I'm using to process videos, upload, game, and do all the other things that I do. I have spent quite a bit of money on it, and I plan to spend a little bit more to just put it over the edge. But right now I'll just give you a walkthrough of the total, the system overview, the parts, performance benchmark results, and things like that. Start off with, I got the case. It is a Cooler Master Stormtrooper. Runs about $100, $150 depending on where you get it. It's a really good case. It's very large. It can accommodate the classified graphics card, the 980. So, and I believe the card itself is about 11 or 12 inches, so it's right about a foot, and it does fit in there. It's very deep too. It's 6 inches deep. Fits no problem. There's still probably 2 inches of gap there, maybe 2.5. So the case overall, very good, very large. Has a lot of room for various parts, and I don't think it's very ideal for water cooling, although, I mean, it is possible you could do it. I never have really experimented with it or looked into any detail with it, but I know it has the cooling reservoirs up here in the back where the tubes go in and out, so I'm not sure if you'd have to store the reservoirs externally or what, but regardless, those are there. It does have that functionality, although personally, I haven't ever looked into it, so I'm not sure how effective it would be. So that's the case. Power supply is an EVGA Supernova Next 750B. It's rated at 80 plus bronze. So far, no problems. The first one I did get, when I first built it, the first power supply I got, put everything together, and when I turned it on to do the first boot up bench test, it popped. And then smelt burned, and it freaked me out. I was about to cry, literally. And everything else was fine. I put a new power supply in it, and it worked fine, so I knew it was just the power supply. Called EVGA the next morning, and they sent me a new one. They did an advanced RMA, so I just sent them this one, and then they sent me one back. So that's the power supply. And then the board itself is an Asus Maximus 6 Formula. It's a very nice board. It's slightly expensive, but it's not the most expensive out there, although for the money you are getting a lot of features. There's a very good sound system on it. It has two-way SLI. It's I believe it's an LGA 1150 CPU socket, in case you're wondering about that. Other than that, that's about it. It's a Republic of Gamers, obviously. Very nice board. It's got the, I believe this is called ROG something cooling. Don't quote me on that. R something, I don't know, I forget. But I'll look into that, put it in the description possibly. But basically what you can do is run, if you're doing a custom water loop, you can plug your pipes in here and here, and then it runs it through, keeps the board cold or cooler, and then you can do whatever with your CPU block and then keep the system cool. So it just adds another layer of cooling for the actual board itself. Alright, see the CPU here. Right now I have an Intel i5 4690K Devil's Canyon. Its core clock is 3.5 gigahertz. It is not overclocked at all right now. The CPU cooler is an Corsair H100i. The radiator is up top here, behind these two fans. Right now I do have just a push going up. I do plan to add a pull. What I'm thinking about doing is taking the massive fan that originally came with the case and just putting it up here to create a little bit more of a pull. I mean, I'm not kidding, that fan would stretch the entire length of the entire depth of the case. It was like this wide. It was really big. I think it was 240 millimeter, I believe, maybe something like that. So that's the board and the CPU. The graphics card I just got maybe a week ago. It's a GeForce GTX 980 classified from EVGA. So far so good. I am going to get a second one and hook it up right here and bridge it, obviously. So that'll be nice. I was kind of worried about my power supply, if it could handle all that, and I did calculations on PC Part Picker, and it does appear to be under the limit, or under the 750 watt with the second graphics card, so I'm not real worried about it. For storage, I have right up here is a Samsung 840 EVO 500 gigabytes SSD, and then directly under that I have an 80 gig disk drive with a version of Linux Mint on it that I use occasionally. That's obviously not my primary because it's only 80 gig and it's got Linux Mint on it, but up here I have Windows 7 Ultimate and then Linux Mint there. Up here I have an LG Blu-ray rewrite drive. So far so good. Those are always handy to have, especially if you into music. You can burn your own discs or copy your discs to your computer to put on your iTunes or MP3 or whatever. RAM, I have 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance and then a secondary 4 gigabyte stick of G-Skill Sport, I believe. And the reason I have it like that is because when I first built it, I just had the 4 gigabytes of the G-Skill. Later on, I decided to upgrade to 16 gigabyte kit from Corsair, and then I thought to myself, why throw away 4 gigabyte stick? So I just kind of left it in there, overclocked it to make it uniformly clock speed, and then everything, I mean, it works fine. It's recognized as standard 1866 all the way across the board, no pun intended. But so I mean, there is no ill effects of it. It runs the same speed and it performs just as well. It's just a different kind of type of RAM. I will eventually remove that blue G-Skill. It's just in there for now until I get more RAM. I'm probably going to get another 16 gigabyte kit of Corsair and then put, you know, obviously put it in the next 2 slots. But anyway, that'll give me 32 gig. Overall, I do like the case very well. So far it's handled everything I've thrown at it, including a massive GPU. I'm also going to be putting a second one in there. It'll fit no problem right here. The only thing is, really, that kind of creates a air movement issue, so I'm going to have to fiddle around with the fan placements. But aside from that, everything is well. I will keep you up to date as I add parts to it. I did order a 4K monitor just yesterday. I'll be getting that sometime midweek, and I'll be plugging that up and actually be able to run actual 4K benchmarks. Like, I can run them now, I just can't actually visually see the difference, so it's kind of weird, but now I'll be able to. I'm not sure if that would affect the actual results, putting it on a 1080p display, but having it scaled to 4K. I'm not sure how that affects it, but if it does at all, I have the monitor coming and it'll fix it, no problem. So, and now, like I said, I'll be adding a second graphics card, so I will be keeping you up to date as I'm adding things to it. I think I'm going to get the graphics card in the next month or two, so I'll let you know, and I'll make a video about it, and hope to see you. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you later.